that I couldn't do that and enjoy those moments. Like Gina Temple said at one point, she said, when you're present, be present. And if I'm always looking at what's next, I can't be present in today, in this moment. You may be like so many leaders who are running on this underlying loop that dictates how we show up every single day without even realizing it. For me, and for others like me, identifying your primary question gives you the power to shift out of those automatic habits and step into true presence. So let's dive in.
Leadership Sound Bites. Real leaders, real moments, real growth.
So welcome to this week's episode of Leadership Soundbites with me, Michele Smith. So it ended up being that I had a gap in between with guests, and I wasn't going to do anything. And then I thought, you know what? I've been playing around with different topics. And this particular one surprised me about, well, it actually had me reflecting on this particular thing. So long story short, in 2023, I attended Date with Destiny with Tony Robbins, and it was the first time I did. And during that time, we discover, and he has us discover, our primary question. And you're like, what's a primary question? Well, it's that underlying question that you may not realize that's actually driving a lot of what you do. Um, and so in that, I did that, and then we identified the new primary question. So this all surfaced back again for me because recently I had a client that we went through this activity for her because there was this loop that was going on. So in the process of identifying her primary question, it had me reflecting on mine. So I pulled up the stuff from 2023 and I took a look at everything that went on. My primary question at the time was in 2023 was what's next? It's not that long. It's not that big. That's not that big deal. And you're like, okay, so what's with that? Well, what's the upside of that primary question? The what's next for me had me going on to the next thing, whether it was training, whether it was businesses, and I joke around with people that I have a lot of spinning plates. So what's next can serve me, but what's next can also keep me out of being in the moment. Like when I'm present, be present, because my brain was always running on what's next. So my primary question went from what's next to how can I appreciate even more what I've created in my life now? So in that moment, it says, okay, yes, I'm still going to plan. I'm going to do stuff. There's goal setting, there's achievement, but there's also this, how do I sit here in this moment? And in that becomes gratitude. It's like I can look around and pause and breathe. It's like I had a friend over the other day, and as he was leaving, I was showing the front porch with the trees and the birds and all the stuff. And he goes, but you need to take time to enjoy it. And I smiled and was able to look at him and say, but I do. I will sit out front in the morning with my coffee and enjoy the birds and enjoy everything around me. So that was my primary question, was driving me what's next, that I couldn't do that and enjoy those moments. Like Gina Temple said at one point, she said, when you're present, be present. And if I'm always looking at what's next, I can't be present in today, in this moment. So my question for you is this. What is that loop, that primary question that has you running, that's running in the background? And there's no judgment associated with it. But think about that and what it could be. I'll share some stuff in the notes about, maybe questions of the process to go through and ask yourself. It's interesting with the client that I was telling you about, even before we got to the new primary question, because there was a few weeks in between, landing on and servicing the old one. There was a lot of iterations to go through. And then with the old primary question, it's like also, how is it serving you? What is it not letting you do? Because a lot of times we're attached to it and don't realize it when we discover it. But try a lot of stuff on, because there's different versions of what that is. But what she noticed between the first week, the week that we identified the primary question and went through that activity, and then 2 weeks later, is that she was able to make different choices. I was going to say show up differently, but there was a shift because there was an awareness now that that was running in the background, that she hadn't thought about it before. And so I just encourage you to think about that. If you're going into the same loops, doing the same stuff, trying to get yourself out of that, most likely there's something running in the background and it can be your primary question. And then when you identify it, then you can identify a new one that better serves you. It's like, what do I want to experience? Who do I want to be? How do I want to show up? And that underlying question, if you practice it, will help you achieve that. So anyway, I hope you have an awesome, awesome week. And I'm excited for next week's podcast and the guests that we have. And until next time, thank you.